What's up, guys? Welcome to A Reseller's Life. My name is Chris. Thank you so much for joining me. In today's episode, I want to talk about the deadly cycle that a lot of resellers get into. Reselling is actually harder than you think, but it's actually a lot simpler than you think, meaning there's a lot less steps required to be a great reseller, but it takes longer than you think to actually get great at all of those things. So if you guys enjoy this type of content, please smash the like button and consider subscribing. In every single episode, I give you 1 to 3 tips to help you move your business to the next level. But this is a jam-packed video, so make sure you listen all the way to the end because there's like 20 really good tips in here. So let's get straight into it. The deadly cycle is you wake up, you list, you look for things, then you pay your bills and go to sleep. And it's just this cycle over and over again until you die. So I want you to adjust it a little bit. And I think this is really gonna help people get to the next level. So this is based off of a couple of questions that I got. One was from Christopher L. and Skylar, his daughter. They asked, how do you balance your work-life balance? And it also comes from Jackie B, who mentioned that she's really excited about building a business and learning the different skills. So I want you to transform the cycle of waking up, working, paying bills, and then dying. I want you to change that. Instead of working, I want you to seek mastery of skills. So get really good at sourcing products, get really good at the system to list them, and then get really good at the other skills like time management or planning your day. That's really important. So instead of working, think about mastery. And if you think about that, it's going to keep you motivated for longer. It makes it more interesting. It's a lot more fun than just finding things and flipping them. That's kind of boring. If you focus on getting really good at it, it'll take all the pressure off, and most likely you'll end up making more money than you need if you just focus on mastery. Next would be paying bills. So I actually think you should try to reduce your bills as much as possible. As odd as that sounds, because we run online stores, it gives you a huge sense of freedom. For me, it's like taking a huge weight vest off because you reduce your bills as much as possible so you don't need as much to live. I'm visiting a friend right now in Utah. And if you've lived in California or New York, I moved to New York after college and I moved to California. Living in Utah, there's so much less stress having to make a much smaller monthly nut. It's like you get a place that's literally quadruple as big for half the price almost in Utah versus California where I live. So it's very interesting looking at that contrast. But if you reduce your bills, it reduces your stress. A lot of the stress that people have is voluntary. They're signing up for an expensive car payment or a house that's too big. So I think it's just important to think about lowering your stress level from monetary constraints. So lower that down so that you can really focus on mastery. What ends up happening is you make a lot more money but need a lot less money. So think about how much less stressful that is. And then finally, instead of doing the same thing over and over again until you die, I want you guys to live intentionally. So I'm going to show you guys how I plan on doing this and how I recommend you guys handle this. So the first part is when you're balancing your life. So this comes from Christopher L. and Skylar. How do you actually do this? And this is really important because I feel like the most important things you can do actually are related to self-care. So what does that mean? Number one thing that will ruin your business and life is being sick. Okay, so do everything you can to avoid getting sick. The next thing, which comes up a lot in the emails I get, is low energy. People have low energy and too much stuff to do. So they're taking care of their families, their kids, their job, and they're building a side hustle on the side. They don't take care of themselves at all. They don't sleep very well, they eat terribly. What ends up happening is they get sick and they have low energy. And that's the opposite of what you need to build a healthy business and the skills that you need to have an awesome life, in my opinion. So do everything you can to teach yourself to be like a great cook, teach yourself to sleep well. If you take care of yourself really well, it leads to the second part of your day, which in my opinion is balancing relationships. If you take care of yourself and your relationships, it'll give you the foundation to build any size business that you want, in my opinion. Instead of pushing super hard at the end, you go home to a house full of strangers and you have all this money, but no one to share it with. That's just my opinion from meeting a lot of people in my life. You can do all of it. You just have to take care of yourself first, because that's the hardest part to do. If you think of it as in these are balls that you're balancing, right? You're juggling a bunch of balls. Your self-care, taking care of your health, taking care of your family, the relationships that you care about, those are made of glass. Okay, so if you drop those, they get scuffed, they get damaged. It's very difficult to repair a broken marriage or a bad relationship with your kid. or if you become sick or have a chronic illness, it's very hard to fix that. But your business is actually very easy to fix. It just takes some time and some planning, and usually some more volume and some more sales, and you can, if you drop a rubber ball, it's just going to bounce straight back up again. You can take care of it. So make sure you take care of your self-care. Then, okay, so now you have that. In your relationships, what I want you guys to think about is making people around you better. That's been my new focus now. I'm making these videos hopefully to help people out there be the best version of themselves, and that will take care of the relationships that you have. There's not as much pressure thinking about what other people think when you're just trying to be the best version of yourself. That makes people around you be better. And my channel has had way less drama, and it's way less popular. Okay, I'll just be straight up. My channel is way less popular now that I avoid negativity. People like drama, they like complaining. My channel has been, almost every episode is the same. Be 1% better. Think about improving yourself. That makes everything around you better. It makes your business better. And it's very quiet. It's kind of like life insurance, or insurance in general. You buy it and you hope you never use it. So it's like we're doing all these amazing things that people aren't even gonna notice, but it really dramatically makes your life less stressful and a lot easier to command. Okay, now you have your self-care in place. Now it's ready to talk. Let's talk about business. People want to know, how do I make more money? Okay, so this is pretty straightforward, and this is how I balance my day. I do the self-care and the relationship part first. Okay, knock it out. So for me, by 8 a.m., I've considered myself already a pretty awesome human being, because I've woken up, I've already exercised, I have a community mastermind call where I talk to resellers every day, 6 days a week, except for I take Saturdays off. But we talk about in the morning what we can do to improve our businesses. New things pop up, I think about them and apply it to my business. Fantastic. So I've got the community thing in the morning. I spend an hour with my wife in the morning. I have a very awesome light breakfast, which for me is just eggs and some vegetables. I've been experimenting with different meal plans that make me feel a certain way. I would say that intermittent fasting is great, but it doesn't really work if you have to deal with people, because if you are hungry, you're not going to be very amicable. No one's going to want to be around you. But if you just work by yourself all day, that might be a great way for you to, if you eat healthy food twice a day and then just skip one meal, you're going to eat a lot less calories, and that's going to help you be solid. My point is, you need to think about your self-care first. Now we move into the business. So for me, at 8 o'clock, I've already knocked out the self-care. Exercised, ate well. Now it's time for business. What am I actually doing at work? So this is how I look at it. Every time you improve a process, you make something better. Your photos are a little bit cleaner, a little bit better lit, the color's a little bit more accurate, or your process is easier and you're photographing things faster. Each time you do one of these things, your hourly rate goes up. Okay, so I love Jim Rohn. He says that if you always do more than you're paid for, you can always ask for a raise. You may not get a raise, but you can always ask for a raise. In this case, when you're working for yourself, every time you improve a process, you are increasing your hourly rate, which is phenomenal. So if you keep doing that year over year over year, you're gonna end up making hundreds of dollars an hour, and you're gonna realize at a certain point, wow, I can't make this process any faster. Now it's time for me to delegate. So you get someone else to do it for you. And there's some different levels here. So maybe pause the video and go get a pen, because these levels really help change my business. The best thing you could do, obviously, is do it yourself. But you run out of time, right? And so what happens is when you start juggling all these balls, the quality of certain things starts to fall. Maybe you don't hang out with your family, or you don't take care of yourself, or you forget to ship, or customer service drops. Something is gonna happen when you do too many things. So the next best option is hiring a service. You hire a company to take care of something. Maybe you get a maid to come in to help you with some housework. Maybe you hire out your laundry. Maybe you hire a company to ship for you. Maybe you do Amazon FBA and you outsource the fulfillment part completely, right? This is all related to delegating. First is the best you do it all yourself till you run out of time. Then you have somebody else help you, start to delegate. Then there's this magic thing that happens after delegation, which is elimination. It's when you get rid of things and somebody else takes care of it for you. So this is a thought from a mastermind member, Jeffrey Anderson. This advice really changed my life, which was, you want to get employees that you don't have to worry about. They're employees that do the work, but then you need to watch them, and it actually adds stress to you, because you're worried about what they're doing or if they're going to do it right. The instructions maybe aren't clear enough, maybe they're not reliable enough. That's actually worse than doing it yourself in some cases, right? You want employees that you don't have to worry about, or contractors. That's why services are so great. Things that do just one thing are fantastic. You wouldn't expect your laundromat who does your dry cleaning to also garden, right? It doesn't make sense. They're just good at one thing, hire one service. So once you eliminate it, then you're in a whole different world. And those of you that have gotten to the point where you can delegate something, like for example, maybe at $5,000, you get a maid. At $6,000 profit, you get a gardener. At $10,000 profit, maybe at that point, you might invest in-home childcare from a grandparent or something. That costs money to be able to actually bring a family member into your home and have them do it, or their time. There's more options that happen with more money. So for me, that's the motivation for me to earn more, is you get more options. It's like I want as little overhead as possible and as many options as possible. Like I said, I'm only one major illness away from being totally broke. So that's my motivation, because I'm trying to be as healthy as I can and have as minimal health problems as possible, and save up enough money in case I need some kind of procedure that I can actually pay for it. That's like a thought that crosses my mind, or for my family, or maybe my close ones. So I'm thinking about that part, because I know those who have health have a million dreams. They want everything. And those that don't only want one thing, just good health. So again, putting into perspective how I balance my day, it's pretty straightforward. Take care of myself first, then I work on improving my skills, improving my process so my hourly rate goes up. Then I delegate my time to somebody else so that they can help me, and eventually I eliminate things off of my list. So when you think more, this is what I see. People who have 10 side hustles. Maybe you have a wife, and you're the type of person that needs 4 other girlfriends. To me, that sounds like a headache. Why would you want all this overhead in your life stressing you out? If you just get really good at one relationship, get really good at one business, it's awesome, and actually have some time to think and not have to do everything. So remember, it's not about accumulating things. It's about accumulating and focusing on the things that matter to you. So I love the book Essentialism by Greg McKeown. I think that's how you pronounce it, Greg McKeown maybe. In my description below, I have an Amazon link to my affiliate store. In there, I have my favorite reselling books, the supplies I use. But Essentialism is a timeless one. It talks about the pursuit of less but better. That's what I want your store to be. Shrink your store over time to just the things that sell over and over again, things that sell well. And that's how I have stopped thrifting. So people, I only thrift for fun now. I can go thrifting with somebody, find a statue that's worth $500 that I pay for $5. I have no problem giving that to someone I go thrifting with, because I know that that's only $495 profit on an item. But when you get a relationship going, you get someone that helps you source, you have a scout bringing you inventory, that's worth tens of thousands of dollars, or $100,000. It's worth a ton. Putting your effort into the quality relationships that grow your business is it's inconceivable how much money that makes you. So I've been in different mastermind groups. I host one myself, but I joined one where everyone made 7 figures or more. And the thing that causes that is having 50 or more employees. That's it. And that comes with, it's also a string of headaches and things that happen at that level. You have all these people relying on you for income. Your systems better be really clean, or you're gonna have a lot of fires to put out, right? So everyone wants this like super high level business with a manager in place that takes care of everything for you, but it takes a while to get there. There's a heavy price to pay. So the way I look at it is, take care of yourself first with whatever time you have left. That's the time that you work on increasing your skill, building systems, delegating and eliminating. That's it. It's pretty straightforward, right? Just get everything in your health set up, because you can't fix bad health. Do that first. You can always fix your business. So people are always in a hurry. I want to make X amount of money really quick. You know what you could actually do that really helped me is you could just go rent that lifestyle and see what it's like. Everyone that's listening to my channel right now, you have the internet, you could save up $2,000 over the course of the next 5 years and live a Playboy billionaire lifestyle if you want that, right? Whatever your desire, you could fund it for a week or a day and just see if that actually makes you happy. Who knows? Maybe you do need a Lamborghini and 6 vacation homes and 100 watches and 20 cars. Some people actually need that. And if you need that, great. Just write down on a piece of paper, I need to earn several $1,000,000 a year. Break it down to you forming a company that has hundreds of employees. That's how you do it. Okay, you can't work your way to that lifestyle. If you want an insane life of ludicrous hedonism, go for it. You just need to know the price you have to pay is hiring amazing people for this system that you have created. Everyone does that. Everyone that's at that crazy level of spending $1,000,000 a year or more. I've met several of those people. I met a gentleman who had a $100,000 budget just for cars in his life, right? And his day was like 90 hours a week of working, and I think he had 16 employees, owned a restaurant, sold wine on the side, and I looked at what it looks like to make $600,000 per month, right? That was his income, and he spent 100,000 of it on cars because that was his true passion. But he worked it out, showed me what his day looks like, very open about it, very kind, very nice, unlike what a lot of people think that rich people are all douchebags. I have not had that experience, okay? Usually they're very open, and usually they have a lot of time. This person didn't even have a cell phone. You can't even reach him. He's just working out what he wants to do all day. He's 100% focused on delivering the best possible thing ever. He's in the mastery world of food and wine. So his restaurant is $77 prefix. It's in San Francisco. It's called Kiko Nob Hill. And he showed me how people come in for a $77 meal and leave spending roughly $600 per person. He's making $1,200 revenue every couple that comes in. It's a very popular date spot. Used to be a 1.5 year wait. And I bet you, even though right now we're in this situation where his revenue went from $40,000 to $60,000 per evening to zero because it's fine dining, so there is no takeout version of that. I'm sure he figured out a way to master something else because that's his personality. He told me he has no cell phone because he doesn't want to cater to anyone's schedule but his own. He wakes up, does exactly what he wants to do, goes to sleep. And for him, it's drive a multiple $100,000 car. He bought an LFA from me. The payment was like $100,000 down, $8,500 a month or something was the car payment on that. And it was nothing to him. But his dream life is driving a supercar to work where he masters something and then driving another supercar home. Whatever you want to do, there is a way to do it. And I want to point out that it's amazing that you can work that out and still have other ambitions. For him, the insurance policy that he had from Allstate, because my boss said, hey, he's not driving a $400,000 car off the lot till the insurance is done. You show me, he's not leaving till I have that from the insurance company that it's insured and ready to go. Otherwise, he can't even touch it. No problem. So we got the insurance set up for a test drive, drove it. After he was done, I worked it out with Allstate. This is amazing, maybe inspirational for you or maybe depressing. I don't know, however you take it. His insurance policy was $40,000 a year for his cars. That's more than some people's mortgages per year, just for the insurance of his cars. The limitation on each car was 2,000 miles per year. Okay, so think about that, right? You can only drive, one of your supercars 2,000 miles a year. That's not that much. So he can't even use it as his daily driver, which is just showing me there's different levels of life. And even he had all these role models and people that he was talking about where, a Ferrari GTO costs several $1,000,000, and the people who buy that car, they have insurance policies where you can only drive it 500 miles a year, or they self-insure. So many interesting things that can happen with different businesses, guys, but just stay inspired, focus on being a master. Whatever lifestyle you want, you can write it down on a piece of paper and just figure it out, no matter where you want to be. And the price to pay to run a multiple $1,000,000 business is very high. Okay, you've got to put a lot of work and effort into creating an amazing system. Okay, this gentleman that was running the restaurant, he only takes one day off a week, just Mondays. He works 6 days a week just to serve those 40 or 50 people at night that come into his restaurant. He spends the whole day. So love it. Hope that was inspirational, guys. I encourage you guys to make progress daily. help me out, buy the reseller field guide in the description below for $35 with code YouTube. It gives you a month free of my Zoom mastermind call, or you could get the whole year for $125 and show up every day, show your improvement. It's an accountability type deal. So appreciate you guys. Again, appreciate you taking the time to listen to me. Love you guys, appreciate it. And until next time, make progress daily. Peace.